Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ryan Pyle podcast. I am your host, Ryan Pyle, and I am coming to you from Dubai today. Look, on the show today, I have Didi Foxx. She is a Lebanese singer and songwriter, and we'll get to her interview that I did with her in just a little while. But first, how's everyone holding up out there, huh? It's been a tough one. It's been a tough one. This is my first podcast post-election. And of course, all of you know what I mean by post-election, even though there's probably elections in more than 150 countries around the world at any one time. We all know what the election was. And I have to admit, the world kind of feels like it's changing a little, even though nothing has really happened. But alas, hopefully we can all just start treating each other a little more nicely again. But yes, I'm in Dubai. I never really know how to start these things out. I mean, we're going to get to Didi Foxx, and she's an amazing talent and an absolute inspiration. And I'll drop all her social channels and everything where you can find her a little bit later. But let's talk about me for a second. I mean, what's going on in my head? You know, where are we at the moment? I'm in Dubai. This is my second week here, and it's going pretty well. Like, I think Dubai is one of the best cities in the world to be in at the moment. It's not going through any kind of lockdown or anything like that. There are cases here, but the hospitals aren't being overwhelmed. You have to wear a mask on the street. You have to wear a mask when you're indoor. You have to wear a mask pretty much everywhere, and people are just following the rules. And the economy's running, and people are shopping and going out for dinner, and everything kind of seems to be okay, apart from everyone wearing masks. And I guess that's what you want. Like, you want people to protect themselves and not hurt people around them, and then be able to go about your daily life. And I don't know, it feels like that's happening here. I'm not a medical expert. I don't know anything, but the feeling, the vibe, the feeling of being in Dubai right now feels like you're in a city that's actually still alive, or still full of people who are alive. And that's helpful. That's definitely helpful to me mentally and emotionally. And I prefer living in cities where people are alive and doing and going about their lives and waking up every morning and doing things. So it's for me, it feels great to be here in Dubai, and I know a lot of you out there are suffering through various lockdowns and restrictions on your lives, and my heart goes out to you, and I hope I can stop talking about this. You know, that's the hope. Someone was asking me the other day. I was doing an Instagram live chat, and they're like, "Bring back the COVID calls," and I'm like, "No, I did 100 of them, and I hate the word COVID, so those are done. So let's leave those behind." But look, I am in Dubai, and there needs to be a disclaimer here. This is the disclaimer. I like Dubai. I do. I'm a resident of Dubai. I have an office in Dubai. I run my company out of Dubai. I'm a fan. But when I moved to Dubai a few years ago, Dubai was very much the hub. That was going to be the landing place for me, in between all of my global adventures and speaking engagements and what have you. So the idea was never to live in Dubai. The idea was to go filming for 2 weeks, come back to Dubai for a few days, go filming for a couple weeks, come back to Dubai for a few days, go do a speaking engagement, come back for a few days. That was always the goal or the plan. And of course now we're in a global viral pandemic, and jumping on an airplane and moving around is very difficult. So now I find myself for the first time really getting to know Dubai. Going to grocery stores, going to restaurants, making friends, catching up with people. I guess it's normal life, right? It's, things that people do every day, and things that I just never really did or never really got my head around. So, it's been interesting. I was telling someone the other day that this is the first time I've been in Dubai where I landed in Dubai and I didn't have my ticket out already booked. Like, think about that. Like, every time you come home, I'm doing air quotes now. You can't see this on a podcast, but if we had video, if we just had the Joe Rogan budget, we could have video on this thing. I'm doing air quotes now. So every time I came home, air quotes on around home, because it's not really home if you're only there 3 or 4 days a month, but that was perfect. That was perfect for a while. So every time I came home, I always had a ticket out. So I knew exactly how long I was going to be here. I stayed in a little serviced apartment nearby, which was cheaper than renting an apartment for 12 months. And then I was off again. And that worked for me. Might not work for everyone, but it worked for me. And now I'm settling in, and it's wonderful and terrifying all the same. Wow, I'm getting a little dry here. Hold on a sec, folks. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. So I'm doing okay. The more I've been in my office every morning here, and I've been going back through all the footage that we shot this summer. Extreme Treks double episode in Switzerland, Extreme Treks Tatra Mountains in Poland, the new show, the Heidelberg, the Nomad in Heidelberg, Germany, and then in Valletta, Malta, and then in Dubrovnik, Croatia, and then in Kotar, Montenegro. And I'm watching the footage and I'm talking to my editors, and I'm just amazed that we did something, and that we were able to do something and do it safely. So it's nice to feel useful, and it's nice to do the thing that you know how to do for the people who like you to do it. Does that make sense? It's nice to do the thing you know how to do, making television, with the people that you like doing it with, my film crew, for the people who like to watch you doing what you do, which is hopefully some of you. So that worked, right? That was lyrically correct, perhaps logically correct, linguistically correct. I could go on. It is it's not. It's 6:32 in the morning. Let's talk about that. I'm waking up early, like really early. Like this morning, I woke up at 4:45. Had breakfast, came to the office. I did some stuff, replied to some emails, and it's been a while since I caught up with everyone. So the deal is, I'm in one of these like serviced office things, and there's like 100 offices here, and we all have our own little corners and our own private offices, and I have one of those private offices. I have my own lock and key and stuff like that. But during the daytime, it's quite busy. Even during COVID times, it's still pretty busy. Everyone's wearing a mask, and it's fine. And during the day, when it's quite busy, I just put on my noise canceling headphones and listen to some music or something like that, and then do my work. But in the morning, it's actually quiet enough for me to lay down a podcast. And so sometimes when I'm feeling extra energetic, then I'll grab a coffee and I'll get right into the podcast, which is what I'm doing today. So I just want to thank everyone out there for continuing to listen. My last podcast that we had, where I talked about my last 4 months and my trips all through Europe and stuff like that, that was actually the most downloaded podcast we've ever had. That is right. I am keeping track of the statistics. It is more than just my mother out there listening. So I am thankful to all of you, and I hope if you like the podcast, you will share it with a friend or two and say, hey, listen to this guy. He travels a lot and has a unique perspective. What's my hope for this podcast? Well, I don't know. It's hard to be hopeful in the morning. If you're drinking Jack Daniels in the morning, please stop. I have some hot water with lemon. Lovely. I've already had a coffee. You can't have too much coffee, or you just sit there like paralyzed by caffeine. What are my hopes? What are my hopes for this podcast? I have no hope. That came out wrong. I have hope. I have no real high ambitions for this podcast. I love making them. I love interviewing people, and I love talking with all of you. And I don't know if you guys have known, but I've done a few podcasts now, and there's a format to this. And the format is I do one interview with someone cool. And today it's Didi Foxx, the Lebanese songwriter and singer, musician. And then the next one I'm just going to talk. And then the next one I'll interview someone. And the next one I'm going to talk. And I don't know why I do that. But, I'm sure it's hugely unpopular. And I'm sure people hate it. But I don't know what it is about just speaking to all of you and riffing and getting things off my chest and communicating. And this is, make no mistake about it, this is a form of therapy. So I do enjoy just talking and getting out what's on my mind. Sometimes I make some notes, like, hey, talk about this, or hey, talk about that. But sometimes I don't. And yeah, so that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. What have I done since I've been back in Dubai? Oh, I got my driver's license renewed. Yeah, that's a thing you do when you've been locked out of your home for the last 8 months. But my driver's license and motorcycle license expired in August when I was filming in Europe. So I was able to go and get that done yesterday. That's like a normal thing to do. And the Motor Vehicle Bureau was open. Here it's called what? It's called the RTA, like the Road and Transport Authority, I think. Yeah, and I got my new driver's license. They did it on the spot. I had to take an eye test because every time you get the driver's license renewed, you have to take an eye test. And I took the eye test, and then, they issued it like on the spot. The whole thing took like 10 minutes. Some things in Dubai are just so efficient, and then some things are not. But we won't talk about those today because we're in a happy mood, and we want to stay in a happy, happy, happy place. I hope you guys are enjoying these podcasts. I'm definitely enjoying them, and I'm going to do more of them, and I'm going to do a better job of promoting them across all of my social platforms. And you can catch it on Spotify and Apple Podcast and everywhere you catch your podcasts. That's the goal, to make this easy and an accessible way to understand who I am and what I think of the world. And I'm stuck in Dubai, but I'm happy in Dubai. I've been to the office every day since I've been home. I like working. I like talking with people about my work. I like doing interviews about my work. I like talking to all of you about my work. It's nice to be in a place for a while and be planning things, because hopefully we'll be able to get back out into the world when it's safe again. So look, just another little disclaimer. Boy, it's a morning of disclaimers, isn't it? I interviewed the singer and songwriter Didi Foxx. She's a Lebanese Billboard chart recording artist based out of Dubai. She's had her big US single was Need Your Love Tonight. It reached 18 on the Billboard Dance Club charts. She is a friend of a friend, and when I asked that friend if they had any friends that I could interview, they said, you need to chat with Didi Foxx. And we did. And again, the disclaimer is that we actually had this talk before COVID-19, which is why we don't mention it. And if we did have this talk during COVID-19 or after COVID-19, we would probably spent the entire podcast talking about how the live entertainment, she does a lot of live performances, how the live entertainment world is dead. And actually, we had a COVID call about that. So if you guys want to watch that COVID call, it's on my Instagram live, and it's also on my YouTube channel, which is just Ryan J. Pyle. And you can follow me on Instagram at Ryan Pyle. But yeah, Didi and I had a few COVID calls where we were just talking about the challenges of the of the live entertainment industry. And of course, that's her industry. And I was talking about my speaking engagements, and then I was talking about filming. And then, it went into a bit of a spiral. But anyways, people who are musicians who rely on live entertainment and people buying tickets are obviously being hurt this year. And so it is maybe a little bit nice that Dee Dee and I had this conversation before COVID came out into the world and changed our world a little bit. So look, settle in, grab a coffee or a beer or a single malt, and enjoy this chat that I had with Dee Dee Foxx, the Lebanese singer and songwriter. We're rolling. Mm-hmm. We are live. Mm-hmm. And so you're Dee Dee Foxx.
That's what they call me.
That's what they call you. The one and the only. But what's your real name?
It's Lael.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Very nice. So Dee Dee Foxx
completely different.
Dee Dee Foxx is just a stage name. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're a musician.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do. How
awesome is that?
Super awesome. It's my dream. It's my passion. It's what I live and eat for. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there should be like a disclaimer here that we've met before.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we were at
Bali.
We were at the same event in Bali, and I thought you were very interesting. And I was like, well, the next time I'm in Dubai, we should catch up and talk.
Thank you for that.
On the record, we should talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, where were you born?
I was born in Saudi Arabia.
You were born in Saudi Arabia?
In Riyadh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And to Saudi parents, or did you have expat parents?
Lebanese.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Born in Saudi.
Born in Saudi. Wow.
I'm truly Middle Eastern.
Truly Middle Eastern.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I don't sound though, do I?
No, not at all. Is that part of your education or part of where you grew up?
Education.
Education?
Yeah, in Saudi.
In Saudi?
Yeah, everybody asked me if I was living in Canada or the US, but no.
Never?
Never.
Okay. Wow.
I don't know. It's a good gift from God.
Yeah. I was in Riyadh like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, before I saw you in Bali, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, incredible the change that's happening there.
Yeah, I mean, I lived there for 13 years before I moved to Dubai.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Wow.
So it's in my blood in a way.
Yeah, well, it's good. And all the change that's happening there, I think it's quite exciting.
Mm-hmm.
The country's opening up.
Opening up. We got the music scene going on.
You do have the music scene going on.
Yeah, hopefully I go there maybe.
Yeah, they should be booking you for events
waiting for the bookings.
Every week. You're a homegrown hero. So you were born in Saudi Arabia to Lebanese parents, mm-hmm. and your Lebanese parents were working there as like expats, or
yeah.
That's awesome. And then, so what? Did you go to like a local Saudi school? Did you go to an international school? Where'd you go to school when you were young?
It's an international school, but it's based there.
Right, based in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. But you went to school with like other expat kids?
No. It was fully Arabic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fully Arabic.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you got the full Saudi experience from start to finish.
Yeah.
You didn't grow up on one of those expat compounds.
No.
You were amongst the local people.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because I have some friends that work and live in Riyadh, and they live on the expat compounds, and they have their own schools, and they have their own like life, right?
No, it wasn't like that.
No. Okay. So
all my friends were Arabs, mostly Saudis as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So you went to grade school, high school also in Saudi Arabia?
High school was here.
So 13.
Grade 10, 11, 12.
Grade 10, 11, 12.
It was here.
What was did your parents move? Is that
we had to relocate, move here. So.
Okay. And then you came with your parents, and then you went to. So what did you study in high school? What was the subject of your choice? Did you gravitate towards like?
It was not much choice.
We had to just performance.
We had to follow the curriculum, but what we had was options between arts, music, French.
Okay.
Did a little bit of French, but I didn't last in French.
Okay.
So I chose art and music. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 3 years of that.
3 years of that. And did you know in high school that like you wanted to be a musician?
No.
No?
No, not at all.
What were your passions?
I've always loved music and arts.
Okay.
But it was my music teacher who pointed it out, and he put me in the choir at school. And he told me, you have got a gift, you have to, if you really want this, pursue it. Wow. And he would give me different instruments to take home with me. Not allowed at school, not allowed to take any instruments, but he would give me like the saxophone, he would give me the trumpet, he would give me the flute, and I would just fiddle around with it. I didn't know how to play any of these instruments, but he always kind of like treated me different. Okay. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And he encouraged me, and he's encouraging me until now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what was his name? Do you want to drop a name?
Yeah, Mr. Malanga.
Mr. Malanga.
Yeah.
All right. You are responsible for Dee Dee Foxx. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good you had like someone to champion your cause.
Mm-hmm. My parents didn't even know.
Okay.
So he was always pushing me for that.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have to have people identify talent. And you have to have people who motivate you along the way.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do all this just by yourself.
No, especially when you're young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be very, very difficult.
Yeah, true.
Well, that's magical.
Mm-hmm.
So your high school music teacher saw a spark.
Something like that.
saw raw talent. So, I mean, I know today you're a vocalist and you're a songwriter. Mm-hmm. Do you also play instruments on any of your albums, or do you play do you play the piano or guitar or anything like that?
I don't say I play an instrument, but I do, when I'm writing my songs, mm-hmm. I do use keyboard. Okay. So I know a few chords, and sometimes I add a little things in the studio because I follow my hearing. If I hear something, I try to find it on the keyboard. My dad gave me a keyboard on my 7th birthday.
Okay.
I was still in Saudi, but I didn't have any chances to learn or, have someone teach me. So I just work on it on my own, on my free time. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you just kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
Would you?
But I'm not pro, and I can't.
What is a pro?
When you play, play.
Right.
No, I don't. I just know a few chords. Mm-hmm. It helps me with my writing.
Okay.
If I hear something, I can find the chord and I write my song like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So apart from music, were there any other interests? Were you did you play sports, or did you get involved in? No, it was just music and art. I would paint.
What
kind of art? Oh, painting.
Paint at home. I would draw things, and I've always painted, and I was always drawing things at home. It was just music and art. A little bit of swimming, but not to go for it as a career. No. Not at a
high level or anything like that. No. It's funny how artistic interests kind of cross boundaries. Like people who write and maybe like also visual art and maybe also enjoy music. I think some of these characteristics and some of these skills, like they transcend different kinds of art and different kinds of music, right?
True.
Wow, that's very cool. So you graduate high school.
Yeah.
And what did you want to be? Like, did you want to be a musician? Did you want to be an artist?
I didn't think that I would choose to be a musician because there were no outlets or opportunities
in Dubai
or in the Middle East where you can actually do that. You can go and become an artist or sing. You would either have to go into TV shows and to be part of that, but to study that and to master that, there aren't any outlets for that. So I didn't know what I wanted to do because I love music.
Right.
I was looking at interior design. I was looking at fashion. I was looking at things, to do with art. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at hospitality and tourism management, and this is what I ended up doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you graduated high school and you went into like hospitality and tourism management in university?
Yeah, in Lebanon.
Yeah,
that was 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
completely different, but I was still doing my music at home.
Okay. That's quite a path. So you went practical, because that would probably have guaranteed you a job.
Yeah, definitely.
And was that something that was important, like, to you and your
Yeah,
parents?
I've always wanted to be the independent woman, not depend on the family.
Okay.
You know, because in our culture in the Middle East, there's a lot of dependency on the families for support and stuff. But I mean, that was back then. Now it's not like that anymore. It's a lot of the women are more independent and they want to be independent. So
Absolutely.
it's changed. Time changed a lot.
Incredibly so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's this part of the world is definitely moving quickly.
Yeah.
Indeed. In a more progressive, more egalitarian, more equal kind of society, for sure. Okay, so hotel and tourism management.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And is that like a 4-year degree?
It was, yeah, and it wasn't easy.
No, I wouldn't expect it to be.
It wasn't easy. It's a rough one.
Okay,
and
walk me through the roughness of hospitality.
Well, basically, you had to learn everything and go through everything in and out. The hospitality industry, working hours were crazy. I mean,
does it prepare you for, like, for example,
life.
like
working,
working in a hotel, or does it, or tourism bureaus, or does it teach you, like, marketing? And
it has everything from cost, from marketing, menus, restaurants, all you can think about.
Sure.
Everything in and out. And I had to go to South Korea and Seoul. I stayed there for a bit for my internship. I was working there.
In Asia?
Yeah.
And did you like Asia?
It was interesting. There was a language barrier in South Korea.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't speak South Korean?
No.
And no Korean at all?
I mean, I've learned 안녕하세요 and, 안녕하십니까, the little basic things while I'm there, because I was in the hotel. You have to greet people.
You do?
Say thank you.
Okay.
But I went there with one of my friends. We were the only foreigners working there besides the GM of the hotel.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you live in the hotel, or
we lived in the hotel.
Okay, because if you lived, like,
in the residence side.
Sure.
But it was quite an interesting experience.
I bet.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you did that? It's like,
I was 17 or 18.
Wow.
17. Yeah.
What a great experience.
Yeah.
To go to Asia.
Indeed.
And to pretty wild countries.
Indeed.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
And
and have you ever been back to North Asia, like South Korea and Japan, or anything like that? Or?
South Korea, no, I haven't been back.
Yeah.
I would love to go back. I haven't been.
Okay.
But I've been to quite a few places in Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Southeast
Malaysia,
Asia.
Thailand, where else?
Bali.
Yeah.
Where you've just come back from a wonderful vacation.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so internships, hotel management, music on the side. Did you ever think, like, your music could be a career?
I always hoped for that.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for the chance, the opportunity to do so. But I've always hoped for that.
And what was the dream? Like, you're going to hospitality and tourism management courses at university. You come home after school, but all you really want to do is play your music and write songs?
I always had my music on, even when I was studying, even when I was doing my assignments, I always had music on.
That's great.
Yeah, it was just music the whole time. I actually stayed with my grandma, and my grandma would knock the door and tell me, turn it down, turn it down.
Oh, you were one of those.
Turn it down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I listened to all sorts of music.
What were early influences?
I listened a lot to Madonna, Cranberries, Scorpions, Bryan Adams. A lot of yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, I didn't have anything specific that I just liked to listen to.
Sure.
Different genres, different artists. So, and I would pump it loud.
Yeah,
pump it loud.
Okay. So
yeah.
That's awesome. Madonna was an influence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's bigger than life, right?
I've always loved Madonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Cranberries.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful.
Yeah, people are shocked when I say these artists, because when they listen to my music, they say, "Really?"
Yeah.
It's completely different, but I grew up listening to these different artists. Yeah.
Okay. So I have a confession to make. I'm not very musically gifted at all, and I don't really know that much about music. I listen.
Who's your favorite artist?
I just listen to, really commercial people who are well played on the radios and things like that. So,
but do you like this music, today's music, or are you more of an 80s, 90s?
So you know what? Okay, I'll tell you a little. I'll give you a little interlude here. I love watching Quentin Tarantino movies.
Okay.
Okay. And Quentin Tarantino movies are quite often like period pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his favorite periods is like the 80s and 90s, because this is kind of when he was coming. And he always, in almost all of his movies, he almost always uses a Neil Diamond song.
Neil Diamond.
Yeah, do you know Neil Diamond?
No.
Are you serious?
I don't think I was born.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're old.
You're right. But you know, like Pulp Fiction? Like,
okay.
Girl, dun, dun, dun,
go ahead. Come on, Ryan. Go ahead.
You'll be a woman soon. Like, that's Neil Diamond.
Okay.
And just recently in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he had a great Neil Diamond song at a really key moment in the thing. And I like Neil Diamond. I just watched Rocket Man, the Elton John biopic. Elton John's music is fantastic.
I still didn't watch that. I'm going to watch it.
Oh my God.
I downloaded it. I have to watch it.
It's beautiful. I watched Bohemian Rhapsody. Queen was amazing, right?
Yeah.
I guess for me, when I was growing up, and this will age me a little bit, but I listened to like Guns N' Roses.
Oh, I love Guns N' Roses.
Right?
Yeah.
They were really popular when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. I grew up on Nirvana.
So you like rock?
I liked the like alternative grunge, Nirvana and Pearl Jam. That was more my speed.
Okay.
When I was in university. Not Metallica, too hardcore for me.
Okay.
But I really loved like Kurt Cobain, Eddie Vedder, the two lead singers for Nirvana and Pearl Jam. And then now I'm a little older. You know, I like Ed Sheeran's music. I find him really interesting.
Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
Really?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, he's awesome.
He is awesome.
Yeah, made a lot of hits.
He's made a lot of hits. Who else have I seen? I love the Rolling Stones. Mm-hmm. I photographed the Rolling Stones once. That was really cool.
Really?
Yeah, in Shanghai, China. I used to work for the New York Times as a photographer in China, so I had a chance to go to some of these concerts, like the first time the Rolling Stones come to China, and then I got to go there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And who else did I get a chance to photograph at the time? So many. It's hard to remember. James Blunt.
Oh, okay.
I like James Blunt.
Yeah.
He's got some good music, right?
Yeah, sure.
But I guess I don't do like, I'm not such a big fan of like club music. No. But I like to like.
I like everything.
You like everything?
Yeah.
You're not.
Even opera. I wouldn't know what the songs are, but I just like to listen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you going to go see Phantom at the Dubai Opera?
Maybe.
Oh, you got to, right?
Probably.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, I've seen it on TV, but I'm sure in reality, you know, when you see it theatrical, yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it is different.
So yeah.
Okay, so you had some pretty powerful musical influences. so you graduate university.
Yeah.
And then what's your first job right after university?
My first job, I worked in a school.
Oh, as a teacher or as
I was working in Korea. I did my internship there.
Okay, so, and then you stayed.
I stayed for a few months in Korea.
Okay.
And then I finished my internship, and then I came back here, and this is where I had a school job in the administration, not as a teacher.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know, Ryan, I never saw myself the person sitting behind the desk with a full-time job.
Walk me through that.
I can't be put like, you know, behind a desk and just, you know, be that person. I love talking to people. I love meeting people. I love music. I'm very social. So I can't just be behind a desk. I never pictured myself with an office job.
Right.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Well, I think if you go to what, ddfox.com, you've got that picture on your homepage of you with the red dress with the big shoulders.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah,
it's also on your Instagram page.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a paper pusher who works behind a desk. You had greater ambitions.
I'm crazy. I like different looks. I like different styles.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't recognize. Is that you? I'm like, yeah. It's like a chameleon, always changing. So.
Of course, you're an artist.
Yeah.
You have to totally reinvent yourself all the time.
Yeah.
It never stops.
It never stops.
That's why we're mildly insane. Okay, so you come back to Dubai. You're working in a school. And was that soul destroying?
Was it what?
Did it destroy your soul? Like having like a 9-to-5 job in an office?
It was short. It was a 9 to 5. It was shorter. You know, schools were shorter time. Okay. But I had to
8
work.
to 3?
I had to 7 to 2.
7 to 2? Even better?
7 to 3.
Yeah.
But I had to work because I said, I need to make money so I can do my own things. I just took it. I just grabbed the first job that I found.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to wait and, oh no, I don't want that. No, I just grabbed it.
So what did your parents do, if you don't mind me asking?
My dad is in the water treatment field.
Water treatment. Okay.
And my mom is in the education field. But
okay.
Yeah.
So they both have full-time
yeah
jobs. So did you see their lives and want to like break free of that, or were you that conscious at that age?
They want to break free.
Break free of like having like a full-time job.
No,
like,
they're secure. That's what they like.
That's what they like.
Yeah.
But did you see their security and be like, no, I want something different?
Yeah, I said I can't do that.
Okay.
I always said I can't do that.
Do you remember how old you were when that realization took place?
I was probably 12 or 13, yeah, something like that.
Pretty young. Yeah.
But I was like, I remember I was so young, and I went on I was on my computer and I was trying to see what can I do.
Yeah.
I'm searching and I'm Googling things, trying to search.
At 12 or 13, there was Google for you?
No, I don't know. It was
I would never
just
ask
the
you
internet.
your age, but
The
come on.
internet. We were in Saudi, and it was just the internet, and you didn't even have access to everything. I was like searching.
Right.
I don't know what I was searching. I remember I was typing and looking for things that I can do when I grow up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was I can do when I grow up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember. I have like vivid memory of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like a routine life.
Yeah.
I love traveling. I'm crazy. I can't be in one place.
That's not crazy.
Yeah.
I have very much the same feeling. So
I think you understand what I'm talking about.
I understand what you're talking about. Yeah. So in just to people who listen to the podcast know this a lot about me too. But for many years when I was young, I just wanted to be a banker.
A banker?
Yeah, because my dad was a banker, and he seemed happy,
okay.
and I thought, yeah, I can do that, I guess, because as a young boy or a young man, you guess you look up to your father, and if you have a good relationship with your father, and I had a good relationship with my father,
true.
You just like, oh, I'll just do what dad does.
Yeah, true. True.
And you don't think about it so much.
Yeah.
But what happened to me is I also played sports. Mm-hmm. So I was a basketball player, and I played basketball in university.
Okay.
And what happened was, for me, I'm curious if you feel the same, but for me, it was an energy level thing. So as long as I was really tired playing basketball, I really didn't think too much about other things. Because when you play sports, you become like very one-dimensional. Mm-hmm. You're not a very well-rounded person when you play high-level sports, because you train so many hours every day, like 3, 4, 5 hours a day, and you don't have any energy. So you don't really think about the wider world. But so I was just like, oh, my dad's a banker, I'll just be a banker. And that was kind of it. And I never thought of it much until later. But then when my sports career was done, all of a sudden I had all this energy and all these ideas. And it was like this whole new world opened up to me. I was like, I don't want to be a banker. There's more out there. And it was only because I had energy and I had all these ideas, and like this whole new world was kind of opened up to me. And then I moved to China.
It's not, it's not just that as well. It's, I even realize it when I'm 20, 25, 27, my mind is changing. Like my thinking is not the same at all.
No.
And from even like when I'm 27 to 28, 29, year after year, my thinking is changing. We want different things. We pursue different things. Yeah. Our ambition is different, and it's just like that. I don't know if it's a women thing, but
no, it's definitely not. I have a theory. I have a theory that as we become further into our digital age and information becomes more accessible, we change faster as human beings. So I have this theory that like 30, 40 years ago, you're pretty much the same person at 40 that you were at 25, because you didn't have access to tons of information that would change your opinion. You kind of probably had the same friends. You probably didn't move very far from where you grew up. The people you went to school with might also be the people you work with. But so, the change that happened within people was very slow and maybe not at all. And that's the world that maybe our parents grew up in. But now everything is at your fingertips. You can learn so much about everything. You can figure out what other people are doing. You can figure out where other people are going. You've got all this social media. And I really believe like every 2 to 3 years, we are totally different people every 2 to 3 years. Like, yeah, you're a musician.
I hope in a good way, though.
In a good way, yeah.
I hope.
I believe it's like constant evolution. I think that we're improving, we're getting better, we're knowing a little bit more about what we want to do. And of course, for you and in our industry, we're both on you're an entertainer and a musician and entertainer, and I just entertain, I suppose.
I climb the mountains.
But you listen to me talk too, and you know too much. So I believe like we're just constantly evolving in a really positive way, where we're taking risks, trying things that other people are doing, and then either rejecting them or accepting them. And I feel like this kind of makes all of us totally incompatible with other people, because we're just constantly evolving.
Do you like where the world is going with the social media and all of that?
I think that I think it's very everything we do is going to become more public. Everything we make public is going to become more shaped and spinned, in a positive way. Like, no one ever writes things on Instagram that make them look stupid, but everyone has stupid moments, right? It's all just positive. You should hate me. My life is awesome. You should hate me. My life is awesome. But of course we all have dark moments, and we never post about those things. So, everything we're seeing now has a spin to it, and everything we see now is just shaped to make people feel really insecure. And I think that if people allow themselves to be influenced by these kinds of social media things, then I think it's kind of terrible.
That's what's happening, though.
I think it's happening to a lot of people,
yeah.
but and I'm not suggesting I'm better or worse than anyone else, but I just don't care. So like when I see other people's social media, it doesn't influence me.
I'm the same.
Yeah, because I'm on my own path. I've been doing it for a while. I feel confident in my direction. I don't need anyone else's.
Your content is. I love your content.
Thank you.
I really do.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's a surprise. I didn't know that was going to go this way in this interview.
I'm interviewing you right now.
Okay, go for it.
No, I mean, I love what you do. I love the adventure that you do. It's also encouraging for people as well to watch what you do and your journeys as well.
Thank you.
For me, I stumble across many people who post things, who call themselves, okay, I'm an influencer. Okay, what are you influencing people with exactly?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't see any influence in what you do. I'm not going to name anything. Sure. I don't want to be specific, but for me, when you're posting content or when you call yourself an influencer, what are you influencing people with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you have a lot of followers and you're using some cosmetic or
I don't
something?
believe in the number of followers. No. I don't. I really don't. I mean, as well, I've been approached as an influencer, and I told them, do not call me an influencer. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Don't call me an influencer.
Yeah.
Makes me crazy. There's so many people out there. I'm an influencer. No, you're not.
Lifestyle blogger, influencer, travel blogger, travel influencer.
Some people like to look at the travel, but for me, I mean, it's not an influence.
No.
What is the influence in that?
You write your own music and you perform. You're a musician and an artist. You're not an influencer.
Exactly.
Anyone can be an influencer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You create art. And in my case, I tell stories.
Exactly.
Yeah, long form stories.
And tough
that
journeys.
Don't fit on Instagram.
I haven't read your books yet, so okay. I have to.
They're a window to the soul.
I'm sure.
There's some interesting moments in there. Well, thank you for turning that around on me.
Don't thank me.
Okay. I've listened to your music and I think it's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
I respect the effort and the passion.
Thank you.
And the time and the sweat and the blood and the tears that goes into creating anything original. Mm-hmm. So cheers to you.
Thank you. Cheers to that.
You're welcome.
I got my water here.
You got your water. So your parents had secure jobs. Mm-hmm. And right out of university, see how I bring it back to you?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to turn it around again. Just wait.
I'll be ready. So your parents have secure jobs. You come out of university and you take a job maybe that's not your dream job, but you want to start making money. You want to start owning your own independence.
Yeah.
Is that a fair way to describe you at that moment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was it about this fierceness to be independent? Tell me more. Where did this come from? How far back do you have to go?
No, not far back. It's just I'm not the type of person who would like to go to ask, hey dad, can I have this? Hey dad, hey mom, can I have some money in this and that? I always wanted to have my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been like that. I hated it. Even when I was younger and my dad gave me, my allowance for school, or I wouldn't feel good inside. I've always been like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it would make me so happy to just have my own. Make it. And then I know that's my hard work. There you go.
That's awesome.
It feels comfortable when I'm spending my own money.
It's empowering.
Yeah.
It's to be independent is like a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be independent doing what you want to do, where you can take your hobby and make it your career and then become respected as an artist.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
Yeah. That's the dream.
Yeah. It's tough out here.
It is tough out
in the
here.
region. We don't have many outlets and opportunities to showcase our original music, and so. But I'm working at it.
That's good.
Yeah. I've released my single in the U.S.
Congratulations.
Yes.
And which song is that?
It was "Need Your Love Tonight." It was.
Oh, that's the one I heard on. It's on. I heard that on Apple Music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I downloaded it.
It was on the Billboard Club Dance chart, number 18.
Oh wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. So on to the next one now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done my maximum here in the region. There's nothing really more that I can do to go further.
Yeah.
For my bigger dreams.
Sure.
So
So maybe you're US bound.
Let's try. We give it a shot. I don't stop.
You can't.
You don't stop.
It's
with the negativity and the people telling you, oh, give it up, how long you've been doing this, and you don't have no clue how many times I hear that, when are you gonna settle? You're gonna settle. When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have kids? Oh my goodness, I keep hearing that. It's in our culture as well, in the Middle Eastern culture.
It's true.
For them, I'm expired right now.
You're in your prime. Come on.
I'm 32 and I'm expired right now.
Terrible. In China, they have a term for this, like women who are not married, who are like over 30, are like leftover women.
Expired.
Yeah, exactly. Which is ridiculous.
But that's the culture.
Everywhere.
But I don't listen. I just do what I want to do. Yeah. I'm a rebel.
I have a theory. I am full of theories.
I kind of realized that.
I talk to a lot of people. I travel a lot. I have a few ideas, but I've basically come to the conclusion after my time on this earth that if a lot of people around you are telling you you're doing the wrong thing and you should stop and do something normal, you're probably on the right track. I absolutely believe that. Because look, everyone around you who cares about you, all they want you to do is be safe. But the entertainment industry, the music industry, creating that whole vicious circle of pleasure and pain is risky and terrible. And you have sleepless nights, and then you have really high highs and really low lows, and it's a roller coaster.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of hurdles. And
so no one who's close to you wants to watch you go through that. And so they're always going to tell you to do the safe thing. Get a safe job, get married, have kids.
Yeah,
that's the traditional safety net.
Yeah.
But for people like maybe yourself and me, that's death.
Yeah, we like risks.
You have to.
Yeah.
And if you want to write music and be in a studio for 16 hours a day because you're feeling it and now it's happening, then you do it and you don't answer to anyone because that's the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So
we're on the same track here.
That theory.
You feel me?
I feel you.
You feeling me?
I feel you. For sure. Wow. So when did you leave the school?
When did I leave?
The school job.
Oh, I just did that a few months.
Okay. Just a few months to make some quick cash?
A few months, and then I worked in marketing and PR in another company for like 2 years. Made some more cash.
Okay.
Then I
All the while writing at night, making music at night?
Yeah, I would go to the studio in the evening.
Okay.
After my job hours. Mm-hmm. And then I would go in the weekend.
Sure.
As well, so I didn't have a day off.
That's what it takes.
And then it was just like, you know what? I don't need to do this anymore. Let me just do music.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it was getting really hectic because like my phone wouldn't stop buzzing, and if I don't pick up from the studio in the weekend, they would call me like from the company in the weekends, and if I don't pick up, it'll go crazy. I'm like, it's my day off.
Yeah.
You know, so I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So when did you make the transition to? I mean, I don't know if this is an overly personal question, but when did you make the transition of supporting yourself through your music? Because that's a totally different game. Like, you know, where you take a hobby that you're doing evenings and weekends, and then you.
Yeah. I mean, what I did is when I left my job, I had some cash saved to continue to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was still staying with my parents at the time.
Smart.
And I went into public speaking while I was doing that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an opportunity that just landed.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, okay, I can make some extra cash doing that too.
Sure.
And it wasn't bad. I love it.
You love performing.
Yeah, I love being on stage.
You were great on stage when we were at the event in Valley. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very natural. Everyone reacts super positive to you.
Thanks.
You're very expressive and the whole spiel. And I watched you for a while. You got to see my whole little thing.
The story. I was listening backstage to your story.
There you go.
Yeah, so I loved it, and then it just happened, you know. It was a blessing, I would say, and I did that while I was doing my music. It gave me
more freedom,
more time for myself, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And do you still like speaking in public and doing these events?
I still do it. Yeah, I still do it.
It's fun.
I have my gigs, and I have that.
I love it too. Like I make television shows, but live performance and sharing my stories with a live audience is the best. It really is. And actually, to be honest, I'm working on like a one-man show where I can talk about my life and my career and make some jokes and the whole thing, and talk about a little bit more in depth about who I am for like an hour. And I want to take that like on a tour at some stage. That's my dream, because I love being in front of audiences. I love watching them react to something, watching them not react to something, and then changing what I'm going to do next. Like that live moment is the best.
Yeah, it is indeed.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's so much better than making television and then showing people what you did like a year later.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't handle that. Like right now, people were just watching my BBC show that came out in like Papua New Guinea, but we filmed that like a year and a half ago. And people are just watching it now. So,
really?
Yeah. So like
but why does it such a long process?
It just takes forever. It takes like post-production, music, voiceover work, script writing, delivering to the broadcaster, having them QC, quality control everything, adding all the subtitles for all the different regions in the world, and then having it actually come out. It's just such a long process. But I love the immediacy of live performance. I love that instant gratification or instant fear of doing something really good or bombing. And it's the best.
Yeah. True.
So you got into public speaking to pay the bills so that you could still do your music. Yeah. And what was the first song you wrote? Like, let's go back.
Oh my God. Do you know how many songs I have in my catalog? Over 200 songs.
Yeah, but what was the first one?
I do know the first one.
Of course you know the first one. You never forget your first.
It was called Say No, like it's a slang, say ain't no more. Like don't say anymore. Meaning don't say anything anymore.
Okay.
Oh my God. That was so old.
Yeah.
I don't remember how old I was.
No? Were you in school?
No. It was after. Yeah.
What was
There was the first song where I got with the band and we actually played it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think it sounded horrible too.
No.
It was so bad.
What was it about?
It was about a guy.
It's
always about a guy,
it's
right?
Always about a guy.
You know, you're a teenager and you're living these moments. It was about a guy.
Raging hormones.
you want to put it that way.
Yeah. Emotional swings.
Can I say this bad words here? Because when a guy is not with the girl anymore and he starts talking shit behind her back.
Oh man, that's the worst.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Say no more of these words like illusions and stuff like that. Oh my God, that is so old.
Yeah, but it captured a moment.
Yeah.
Think about how many other young girls feel that way every day. That's the thing I think that makes music timeless. Is because even when you write something about where you are in the moment, and then 5 years later you move on, there's still young people who can identify with where you were when you wrote that song. Mm-hmm. That's why I think music is timeless and beautiful when it's well done.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of terrible music out there.
Let's not talk about terrible music now.
Let's not talk about terrible music.
Yeah.
But I've always, and like I said, I'm not a musician and I don't know really what I'm talking about, but I've always had a great respect for people who can write and then perform their own words, because I think that's the greatest, that's where the feeling really comes through. And
especially when the people you're singing to, you feel that it actually relates to and they connect with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're not some like 60-year-old woman's words who wrote, that and then handed it over to you just so she could get a paycheck.
Yeah, it's completely different.
It is.
I co-write my music as well. I have my producer. He's from New York. He writes as well. Mm-hmm. We write together.
That's great.
Too. And the stuff that he writes, for me, sometimes it's difficult to remember because he wrote it.
Right.
But when I write, when I write it, it's easy for me because it's coming from here.
It's in your heart.
But if he writes something, I'm like, oh God, how did that go? So, but we've been together on this project for about 10 years. We work together.
Wow.
Yeah. We're like a family.
Okay.
So.
That's amazing. I mean,
he took me in when I met this studio here in Dubai. They were looking for, he was looking for an artist in the Middle East singing in English. And we met and we started.
That's incredible.
But if I listen to my stuff back then, I asked him, why did you work with me exactly?
What was this? What is about this?
I sounded horrible.
Really? But you're
still young, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just singing all over the place.
Did you ever take vocal lessons?
No. He was with me, teaching me.
Okay.
But no, I didn't go to school or take any vocal lessons.
So could you say you're self-taught?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, but he guided me a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guidance is crucial.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. It's so amazing that you're in this world now.
Looking now to make a hit record.
Yeah.
We're going to make that hit record, right?
You're going to make
I'm going to meet you on top of the mountain.
On top of the mountain. But you know what the scary thing is that once you have your hit record, then it's like, well, when's the next hit record coming? And then you
have to keep going.
It's never ending, isn't it? Like I was speaking with another person a couple days ago, and we were just talking. He's also in television, and he's like, you never make enough television. You never make enough good television. You never stop. Like this
that's how it is. Yeah.
This whole idea of like retirement or like slowing down.
Yeah.
It never, I don't know for you, but for me, it never really crosses my mind because every day I get to tell a story. Every day I get to travel and meet someone.
Yeah. Yeah, never crossed my mind.
The best day in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild.
I mean, what's better than having to tell your story to people and share all of your journey moments and everything? Mm-hmm. They're inspiring.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for most of your music, you are a vocalist,
and
you work with one band or different bands, or how does it work?
We have different musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And what are most of the instruments that are on your music? Because most of the stuff that I've heard of yours was the remixed stuff.
Yeah. So I have basically my genre's pop. So we do pop, R&B, pop dance. We have mostly everything you can think of.
Right.
There's a lot of instruments if you really listen. Mm-hmm. The keys, the bass, percussions, many different things. Mm-hmm. So we have songs with sax in it. Many things. Sometimes the Arabic percussions. Right. We put a lot. The time is not when recording. The time is the whole production, laying everything down. This is what takes time.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's the painstaking process. So how do you write your music? Like, in layman's terms, to someone who's not a musician, like how do you Do you
Well,
keep a notebook? Do you?
I have a notebook always, one in my bedroom and one in my living room on the table.
Yeah.
One in my bedroom next to my keyboard.
Okay.
It's there. The inspiration never comes in the daytime. It's always at nighttime.
All right. So
After
you're a
12.
night owl.
Oh God. Sometimes I want to sleep. Like I'm sleepy, but then I hear this melody. It's like it's playing in my head and I have to record it on my phone or put it down on the keyboard and record it or just, play the chords. And then the words would come slowly and I would just write them. And I would just play it for my producer and he does the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It just comes to you.
Yeah, or in the bathroom.
Any hour in the shower? Do you use a shower singer?
Yeah, in the bathroom.
There you go.
A lot of inspiration goes in the bathroom.
Sure.
Don't be surprised.
Yeah. Because
I
I
like the echo in the bathroom.
The echo in the bathroom is the best. Someone told me once that they have their best ideas in the shower because it's the one place during the day where they don't have digital distraction.
Yeah.
So it's being in the shower is the one moment in the day where you're not in front of your laptop, in front of your computer or your mobile phone, checking things, dealing with other people. And it's the one moment where you can have like an honest to God, quiet, reflective thought.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why a lot of great ideas come to people when they're showering or singing in the It's amazing.
It's never in the daytime because you always have a lot of distraction.
Sure.
And the day, phones
people
ringing,
wanting to give you
this,
podcast
that.
interviews and
Someone like crying,
Exactly.
But it's a nighttime when it's really quiet and really late.
Yeah.
This is when the inspiration is popping out. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. See, I don't know. Like I don't get. I'll tell you, my best ideas come to me when I'm trekking or climbing, because again, I'm away from the digital distraction. So, like the 2 weeks a month that I spend in the middle of nowhere filming, sleeping in a tent, this is when I am having my purest, cleanest, most creative thoughts.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. It's inspiring. And actually, to be honest, it's become so addictive having that time for myself that I don't think I can go back to being in civilization 4 weeks out of every month. Like, I love that time away. And it helps me like refocus.
Definitely. When I was in Bali now, I stayed a few extra days just to have me time.
Of course, you need
and
that.
I would keep the phone away, just take pictures, things I did and stuff. But I had my phone off the whole day. I wouldn't talk to anybody or. Oh my God, that felt so good. It felt so good that when I had all this time there, and I was in nature, I was in the jungle, I stayed somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So when I came back here, I was like, wow, we are missing out a lot. Yeah. And I feel bad for the younger generation, not us. Yeah.
Because they're addicted to screens at such an earlier age.
It's crazy. Yeah. We didn't have that. Thank God I didn't grow up like that from the 80s. Thank God. I love the era I grew up in.
That's good, yeah.
So, yeah.
You ever go to a restaurant and see like a husband and a wife, and
both of them on the phones,
and then their kids on an iPad?
Yeah, I see that almost every day.
In this
almost
part of the world.
Every day. It's crazy. Yeah. And I always say, wow, I would never do that. No. I would never want that, and I would never allow that. No. It's crazy.
That's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast. Is because I actually like sitting across from someone, looking them right in the eye and having a God honest conversation.
Yeah, without phones.
Because they give bad feedback on the mics.
Not just that, but we don't want the phones.
No, but it's like how rare is it?
Yeah,
that you can actually sit down with someone and have like a real conversation. And that's why I think podcasts are so popular, because it's two people talking the way other people wish they could talk.
I think so. Yeah.
Because it's becoming a lost art.
Like, yeah. A lot of couples, you see them even going out, like having dinner, and they're both on their phones.
Yeah, not talking to each other.
It's crazy. Yeah. Why are you out again together? Yeah. Why?
It's unbelievable. I was at a New Year's Eve dinner earlier last year, I think, and there was a few people at the table, and I was the only one who like put my phone away. And and I was just sitting there waiting to talk to someone, and everyone else was on their phone.
That's so disturbing.
It was, right?
That's
And
rude.
it was almost
It's
like a test.
rude.
I was almost like a test. I was like waiting for someone to look at me and be like,
Did
"Oh,
you
he's
count
not
how
on his-"
long they did?
No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Like,
Wow.
I was expecting people to be like, "Oh, Ryan's not on his phone. I'll put my phone away and talk to Ryan."
Oh God.
And it never happened. People were just, "Oh, where are we going after this? Where are we going?" Well, don't worry about what's after this.
Mm-hmm.
Be here now.
Yeah.
This is when something's happening.
Yeah. You miss a lot of moments
You do.
when you're on the internet and all that. You
Yeah.
miss-
And that's why I love live performance, because it's you and an audience, and they're not on their phones,
Mhm.
and they're gonna remember it. Whether you're good or bad, they're gonna remember it. Hopefully you're good and they'll remember it. But that moment where you have people's attention and you're doing a good job and you're a performer, and people are smiling or they're laughing or they're connecting with you in an honest and open way that's not through a screen.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and when you can have that kind of attention from people because you're delivering some kind of happiness to them, like through your music or through my, public speaking, that's like the best.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely.
Do you do a lot of live performances, like
Yeah.
music?
Yeah, I do.
Where have you played?
Oh, I do different.
I did a lot of research before meeting you, by the way. So where do you
I did
perform?
a few clubs here in Dubai,
Okay.
and now I'm doing more of the private gigs for private corporate events.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I prefer to do that. Also, it gives me more time for myself. I was doing different residencies at different clubs,
Hmm.
but yeah, now I'm doing private.
That's nice as well. So you get to pick and choose.
Yeah.
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 And do you have? I mean, what are your ambitions as a singer-songwriter? I mean, tell me what do you want out of all of this?
To share my music with the world. My dream is to be on a big stage, and while I'm performing my song, when I hear the audience singing the lyrics along,
Oh shit.
then I know I made it.
That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
That's the best.
And I know I made it when they're singing the song.
Yeah. Is there like one venue that you would love to play, like, Madison Square Garden in New York City, or like Hyde Park in London in the summer?
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's so many venues.
There are.
There's so many. Hopefully I'll get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where how do you see your songwriting adapt and change over time? Like, do you feel like you're getting more mature in your writing, or do you feel like is your music changing as you get older? Not that you're old or anything like that, but you've been doing this since
I'm getting old, right? What are you talking about?
We're all getting older.
Old
But
is gold, man.
Old is gold. It's the experience. No, but like, you've obviously been doing this since you were 10 or 12 years old, and writing and playing with musical instruments and this kind of thing. But do you feel like you're, changing as a musician?
The writing becomes better and better. You master the craft,
Okay.
You master it along the way with, by time.
Mm-hmm.
But what I write will not change, because what do you mean, like, it's changing though? In what sense?
Well, like, you mentioned your first song was about a quote unquote breakup
Yeah.
with a boy who was
Yeah.
talking shit about you behind your back with your friends or whatever, and you were like, but maybe as you have more life experience, I'm wondering how that changes, because it affects me greatly.
Mm-hmm.
The more I see in the world, the more I talk about
Yeah,
it.
of course. Every day
Mm-hmm.
inspires me in different ways, whether I'm here, whether I'm not here, somewhere else. The people you meet, the experiences you go through, the things you see, whether it's humans, nature, animals, anything you experience and you go through or you see will inspire you in different ways.
Right.
And this is, traveling, when I see different people, when I meet different people, this inspires me. It's always bringing out different things in me, and I put in my writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Have you seen my song? Have you heard it? Have you seen the video, Crazy World?
No, I haven't seen the video.
Then you haven't done enough research.
I haven't. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
It's about the crazy world,
All right.
So
give me a couple lyrics. What do you got for me?
I woke up this morning, turned the TV on, didn't like what I was seeing. It starts like that.
Nice.
It's about all the craziness and madness happening around the world, and it is the first thing I do when I wake up. I turn on the news.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to.
You want to start depressed every day?
But no. I just want to know what's going on.
Right.
But I watch it for not like for long, like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, just see what's going on in this crazy world. And that's what I do. So this is how I started the song with. And then it talks about how the world is changing. It talks about the religion, the wars, and the race, and people doing crazy things, people killing each other, and all these things. I put them in one song. And I have a very well-known artist from the UAE here who was featured on this track.
Oh, great.
And I had schools participate with me, so I had kids in the video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you have to check it out. It was a big production.
That's amazing.
And they loved the idea. I went to the schools myself and I told them, look, I have this song, I have this project, and I really want the kids to support and, participate. If you want, that would be great. And they were all in. The schools that I went to, they were all in. 100% with no hesitation.
Right. Well, you can sell it.
And I mean, when you watch the video, you'll understand.
I kind of want to get online right now.
You can.
I'll wait until
you can.
I'll wait until we're done this.
Yeah, that was our biggest production.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a long track, English and Arabic.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many languages are you fluent in?
English and Arabic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you give up on French eventually?
Yeah, I did French about 4 months. I mean, I still understand a few words, but I can't have a conversation with somebody in French. But...
In Canada, you have to learn French for 1 year. You have to pass.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to because it's one of the national languages. But
yeah.
I grew up in Toronto, and there's not a lot of French-speaking people in Toronto.
Mostly in Montreal, no?
Montreal and Quebec City, in the province of Quebec. And I understand why they want people to study French, and I was trying to be quite respectful. But when you don't use it on a daily basis, it's very painful, and you don't retain anything.
You forget it.
Right.
You forget it. I might learn it again. I might go back. Yeah.
It's an elegant language.
I love it.
It's when you.
I just didn't like my teacher. That's why I didn't continue. I hated her.
But then you got into music, right?
I hated my teacher.
Yeah. See, for me, it was coaches. For me, it was like my basketball coach. My first real basketball coach in high school changed my life. Yeah. And got me on an interesting track. And then later, I had a history teacher who also was my rugby coach, and I played rugby for quite a few years as well. And it was because of those two people that helped me kind of guide. Were either of your parents musicians or musically gifted or interested in music? Like, what was on the record player?
My dad is a music lover.
What was on the record player when you were young?
My dad played all types of music.
Yeah.
He's a music lover. He was playing all the 80s disco.
80s disco?
Yeah.
Like the Bee Gees or?
Everything you can imagine.
Okay.
He played Madonna. Actually, he gave me the Madonna tape.
Oh.
My first tape, the cassettes.
Yeah, cassettes.
It was a Madonna.
Yeah.
He gave it to me. Cassettes
are still pretty new, though. I mean, was it vinyl? Like, if you want to go back further, you say vinyl, right? My dad had like a record collection.
He has vinyls.
Okay.
My dad has vinyls.
Still to this day.
He collected them.
Yeah.
So he's a music lover, but he doesn't sing.
No.
Neither does my mom.
No. So apart from Madonna, what were on the speakers when you were young?
Oh, Madonna, Whitney
Houston.
Air Supply.
Okay.
My dad loved Air Supply. Engelbert.
Okay.
Oh my God, it was a lot. He would just play different things and a lot of Arabic music too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were the Arabic influences? I know nothing about Arabic music, but maybe some of the listeners are following along.
I don't know if I was influenced by Arabic music because I don't really sing in Arabic.
Right.
But I loved listening to one very famous Arabic artist. Her name is Majida Rumi. Okay. She's amazing, and her songs are very like cultural kind of, it's different. Mm-hmm. It's not like that commercial music you hear on the radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where was she from?
Lebanese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Lebanon a hotbed of
Lebanon,
music?
Lebanon, yeah. Yeah.
I've never been.
You have to go. You have to climb our mountains there.
I have to climb your mountains
they're not
or walk
that
across
high,
your
but...
deserts. I'd rather just listen to you play music and sit outside.
You should go to Lebanon.
Yeah, well, we're working on it. We're always, I mean, every season we make of television, we reach out to a whole bunch of countries and start looking at different opportunities. And Lebanon's always been on the list. We just haven't made it click.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll get there someday.
You should.
I want to. I think it's a pretty special part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a little corrupt. It's always been.
Always.
Always we always had the corruption, but it's a beautiful place. I always feel home there. It's my home.
It is.
Yeah. Food is amazing.
Right.
The nature is
Even
great.
though you were born in Saudi Arabia, lived there until you were in
Yeah.
high school, and then you came to Dubai, but Lebanon is still yours.
It's my home.
It's your soul.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Of course. Yeah.
And you really do feel like a strong connection?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Especially when I'm there in the mountains, and I'll show you some pictures.
Okay. I feel terrible,
Oh, we have beautiful, beautiful places, waterfalls.
Yeah.
You have rafting there. It's a lot of things you can do.
Outdoor paradise.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of guilt sometimes.
Why?
Because when I listen to people like you talk about, your home, like the place that you feel connected with, I don't see myself ever going back to Canada really, or I don't feel I've lost that connection, I think.
Why is that though?
Well, I'm very proud. I'm a very proud Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
I think Canada was a great place to grow up. I had a wonderful experience in high school. I went to the University of Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very proud of Canada's stature in the world and the way people think about Canada and the way we carry ourselves internationally.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're open and welcoming to the world. But I just never saw it as a land of creative or entrepreneurial opportunity.
I see what you mean. I mean, for what you do.
For what I do,
You had to get out.
Maybe.
You
And I always felt like there was the people around me. They were wonderful people. They were beautiful people. They were my best friends. They were my family. But I always felt like I don't know if I wanted more, or I wanted to see something different, or I just wanted to experience something that was the total opposite of what I saw people around me doing. And I realized that pretty soon after I was in university, when that was the formative years of when I started to figure out this is not going to work for me. Yeah. And then
it's that inner voice calling, right?
I don't
the inner voice.
I don't know, because I would say that I grew up middle class, maybe upper middle class. My parents made a good living. We never wanted it for anything. My parents did an amazing job of raising my brother and I, and we went on ski trips and we had a chance to travel. And so I didn't grow up hungry, needing to succeed. I kind of felt and I think this is a testament to how wonderful Canada is. You can have this idyllic middle class life where everything is kind of provided for you and you don't, feel like you need anything. And
it's kind of like that also around here.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah.
But I just, for some reason, when I became more aware of what was out there in the world, I rejected everything about comfortable middle class Canada, and I needed to move to China, where people were fighting and struggling to become middle class, and somehow getting caught up in that energy.
But why you chose China?
So
I'm gonna interview you now.
You're gonna interview me.
Yeah.
So
this is Ryan's podcast, everybody. Yeah. So why China?
Did I tell you? Did I give this at the Bali talk? Maybe in my second year of university.
No, you didn't tell me that.
No, in my second year of university, when you play university basketball, you play on Fridays and Saturdays. So sometimes you would leave Friday morning very early, play Friday night in another city. Sometimes you would fly by plane, and sometimes you would take a bus. So it was very helpful to have your Fridays off. And in my first year university, I didn't take my Fridays off. I didn't plan it very well, and I missed a lot of classes, and it was hard catching up, and you had to explain things to TAs, to teaching assistants and stuff like that. So my second year, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this right for my scheduling, for my class selections. I'm going to make sure I have Fridays off. So in order for me to have Fridays off, I needed to take another class on like Thursday, because the other days were pretty fully booked. And the only like real moment I had in my schedule was like Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Okay.
So I went through the whole syllabus of classes, and I found like all the classes that were Thursday. And the only class that looked interesting to me was an Introduction to Modern China. Oh shit.
Okay.
So
there you go.
Before that, I had no connection with China. I hadn't read anything about China. I didn't know what was going on anywhere in Asia. Mm-hmm. But I took that class and I was like, whoa, this country is interesting and different, and something I want to learn and understand a little bit more about. And then in my third year, I took another class on Asian history, which covered, Japan, South Korea, part of Southeast Asia. And then I took another class on China again. And then I just became very interested in the region in general and China specifically. And then when I graduated university and I had all this energy and I wasn't good enough to take up my sporting career further, I knew I didn't want to stay in Canada. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, this is the place that I know the most about.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to go and explore. So originally I left in September 2001, literally like a week after the 9/11 attacks, because I remember that. And
oh my God.
Yeah, and my grandfather had passed away that same month. Actually, it was a pretty intense kind of period in my own personal memory and history with all the things that were happening. But then I went to China, and of course, at the time, it wasn't a very popular thing to go to China or even to Asia as a Canadian, and I guess Toronto maybe at that time too. And I don't want to age myself, but it was maybe a little bit less multicultural than it is today. Today, Canada or Toronto is a wonderfully multicultural city with people who have come from all over the world. But at that time, it was a little bit more Caucasian. Most of my friends were, of similar backgrounds. So this idea of going to China was really radical. And a lot of my family members thought it was silly or not good or this kind of thing. But I went to China, and again, this is when I was opening up after my sporting career. And when I got there, I was just blown away. Whole nother way of life, whole nother culture, whole nother language. I didn't speak any Chinese. I didn't have any friends there. I didn't really have a plan. But I spent 90 days traveling around China by bus and by train.
Wow.
And by hitchhiking with truck drivers. And it engaged me in a way that I'd never been engaged before. And basically on that trip alone, I decided that all I wanted to do for the rest of my life was tell stories about places that people don't get the chance to go to.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so what happened was I traveled in China September, October, November, December.
Wow.
And I went home for Christmas. The winter, yeah. And I went, but I did everything. Like I flew to Hong Kong, which was like a gentle landing because Hong Kong's quite Western. And then I went across the border into mainland China. And then I went from southern China up through Shanghai, Beijing. And then I went all the way to western China along the border with Kazakhstan and Pakistan. Uh-huh. And then I went all the way through Tibet, and I went to Lhasa, and I went to Mount Everest Base Camp. And then I went all through southern China along the border with like Myanmar and Vietnam. And then went back to Hong Kong and flew home. And I remember I got back for Christmas that year. And my Christmas gift to my parents was telling them I was going to move to Shanghai.
Oh my goodness.
And I was not very popular.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I was the first one to leave, really. I think my family was quite close-knit.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of cousins and things like that have all stayed close to home, and I respect them, and they've made wonderful lives for themselves, and they're amazing people.
Oh my God.
But I just needed to get
from Canada to China
to get out, yeah,
across the globe,
and to be in China with so many people like working and hustling, and the country growing so fast.
They work hard.
They do, yeah. It was inspiring, and it definitely took my work ethic and my desire and my entrepreneurialism to a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Maybe if I had graduated university and went to like Argentina, maybe I'd be living in Argentina right now. I don't know.
That was your destiny.
It was
path you chose.
It was, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I started, becoming a storyteller professionally. After that, dealing specifically with China for major like U.S. newspapers and magazines. Part of the talk you heard.
But did you learn Mandarin?
No, I speak pretty well. Like you can drop me off anywhere in China and I'll get back to Shanghai safely.
Okay.
Yeah. But like if I, having like a really in-depth conversation with someone and getting to understand what makes them tick, I can't do that. And I really suffered linguistically, actually. I never really got the language.
Were the people different, like in different regions? Like
totally.
the mentality and the culture in different regions in China?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Lots of minority peoples, different languages, different religions, different cultures, different foods. Like China sells itself as being this, one singular country, but no. And they have like 55 official minorities, but in reality there's hundreds, and they all have their own dialects and their own food and their own culture and their own way of life. And as challenging as many people might think that China is, or as, I don't know, maybe some people see the Communist Party as being quite harsh on their people with regards to abiding by, the rules of the Communist Party and stuff like that. It's amazing in my mind that they've kept that country together, because a country that is that diverse, is amazing. Like it is a country that is as diverse as the Middle East in its own ways, but you can imagine how different Jordanians are than Saudi Arabians and Iranians, the Persians. Like China has this level of different cultures that exist within its borders, but they keep it together, and they do that through some harsh tactics. But it is what it is. It's a safe place to travel, and it's a safe place to live.
What would you say your favorite? No, I'm interviewing you now. What was your favorite place or city there?
So my favorite place in China is Xinjiang province, which is the Muslim northwestern regions along the border with Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan and Pakistan. And I went out there first in 2001 and just loved it. And it was incredible. It was like the Silk Road, the romance of the Silk Road, and the mosques and the call to prayer in the morning. And it was my first experience with the Muslim part of the world. Yeah, I hadn't traveled to the Middle East really, and I didn't have a lot of interaction with Muslim people when I was at the University of Toronto or living in Canada at that time. So being on that Silk Road, meeting all these Turkic people who are weaker people, and also I met Kazakhs and Kyrgyz minority people, and it was amazing, and I would sit in the square and listen to the call to prayer, and I would go to like the main prayers on Friday and watch people pray, and I would go to the markets and watch people slaughter sheep and
slaughter sheep.
That was a big thing.
It is.
It is, yeah. And I was there, and I was so amazed by it all that I actually spent 8 years photographing the region and making a black and white photography book, which I shot all in film, called Chinese Turkestan. Because like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and parts of China were many, many hundreds of years ago known as like Turkestan. And I called my book The Chinese Turkestan, which was the Chinese part of Turkestan, which is within the borders of China. Which is the only part I really traveled through to make the book. But and it was very much trying to capture that Silk Road feeling. And I'll tell you another little aside, and you really have turned this around on me. I gave a photography exhibition of this work in Brighton in the UK, and I went to the gallery exhibition. My pictures were hanging all around, black and white, from this Muslim part of China, Xinjiang, and this lady came up to me and she says, "Oh, you must be the grandson of the photographer," because she thought the pictures were like from the 1920s or 1930s.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, I'm the photographer." Yeah, and it was amazing because this part of the world hadn't changed. That it's different now, but when I was doing this work more than 10 years ago, like it hadn't changed a lot. And it was really a special place. And now it's gone through a lot of political turmoil, and there's a lot of other issues at play, which people can read about if they do a internet search about Xinjiang or whatever. This isn't the place to talk about that. But at that time, it was really special. and it influenced me
Amazing.
greatly. So I spent 8 years
Wow.
going pretty much 4 or 5 times a year. And,
Wow.
yeah.
Amazing.
And that's kind of my favorite
I have
place.
to read your book, Ryan.
So where do you draw the most influence from in your music? Is it people you meet? Is it places you travel? Is it personal experiences? Is it all of the above?
All of the above.
Yeah?
Yeah. Stories like yours too.
Okay. Well, if I can be an inspiration to anyone, I'm always, very
Because you keep
grateful.
going. You keep going.
You have to, right?
Yeah. There you go. That's the inspiration.
Yeah. Like, if you were to have a family and children someday, you wouldn't want them to go into the entertainment industry.
I don't know, but I wouldn't stop them from their dream.
No,
That's what I know.
You wouldn't stop them from your dream, but holy Jesus, like days can be rough, right?
And my parents, I mean, they see what I go through and they tell me, you really want to keep doing this? You really want to? Yes, I do. They see. And my mom, like, she feels bad. She thinks I'm wasting my years sometimes.
Yeah.
Say no, I don't regret anything I'm doing. I don't regret anything I did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret any decision.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for everything. I've been blessed.
Sure.
Surrounded by great people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And gifted with the creativity to create your own career, write your own songs, share in the songwriting, and perform.
Life is not exciting if you don't take risks and take these decisions and make these steps. If you always play it safe, then what?
Well, some people like it safe.
Then what?
I've created like a really kind of politically correct way of describing this, and this is, if you want safe, do safe. If you want risk, do risk, but know yourself.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just don't know themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who want risk end up doing safe things and they end up not being happy. And a lot of people who get thrown into risky situations, but they just want safety and then they are uncomfortable and are full of anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, you have to really know who you are. Like, when you look in the mirror, it's like, yep, that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that that's so lacking these days.
You talk to that person in the mirror.
I don't really. I don't need to. It's like a how you doing wink, like Joey from Friends.
Yes, today is another day.
Today is another day.
We're going to do this.
We're going to do this. And as an aside, I had the most miserable afternoon at the Indian consulate trying to get a visa for our film production in India. And the wonderful Dee Foxx has put me at ease, finally.
I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
There you go.
So where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Where do I see myself 10 years from now? I hope traveling from place to place, doing what I do, spreading my music around the world. That's the dream.
That's the dream.
Yeah. I can't ever see this stopping or coming to an end.
Right.
I can't.
Because it's who you are.
Yeah.
It's a part of your soul.
It's always been. When I was younger, I'm not that old, but when I was younger,
a couple months ago,
I used to always have dreams that I'm on stage singing, even before I knew I was singing.
Right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, even before I was like, what am I doing? What is this dream? It would always be a big stage and red curtains and I don't know what, and bright lights, but I never...
Radio City Music Hall, New York City.
Can you imagine?
Dee Foxx. 2 shows a night.
Tickets for $2.
It's 200. 2,000. Come on. Once the scalpers get a hold of them.
Free tickets. Just come inside.
Amazing.
I always had these dreams and I was singing and I wake up like, huh? What was that? I never understood until later. Yeah, I always had dreams. And I still have dreams.
Are you a spiritual person, may I ask?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I always see dreams and they come true.
Really?
Yeah. It's scary.
That's fucked up.
It is.
I don't mean to. I'm not going to judge,
scary.
but
it's scary. Like I would know certain things, not everything.
Yeah.
But it's scary.
Really?
Yeah. I would see if there's, let's say if there's a person trying to harm me or something bad going to happen, I would know before that.
Really?
Yeah, I would know. Let's say 70% of the time.
Do you feel like you have some skill, like some ability to read minds or know the future?
No.
Or understand people at a certain, like, I feel like you have like a sixth sense.
I get a vibe.
You get a vibe.
Yeah, but I would see a dream like
okay
about that person or about a certain situation. Of many incidents.
And is your spirituality connected to some higher power or some specific religion, or is it just some connection with the world that you seem to have?
I believe in God.
Okay.
I have my rituals.
Okay.
I mean, the universe has a strong power.
It does.
It definitely has a connection.
Nature. The natural elements.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always been like that. I always saw dreams since I was young.
Wow.
I don't know. My mom freaks out. She said, "What? What? No." She freaks out the minute I tell her, "Mom, I had a dream. Don't tell me what you saw."
Right, because she knows it might actually happen.
It would happen. It would.
Really?
Yeah. Many. Like when I was in school, I would dream. If I really was panicking from exams and something, I would dream of the essay that's gonna be on the exam, and it would be the essay.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah. Incidents. I mean, if there's someone like, if a person had negative vibes, I would see a dream. You know, if that person's trying to harm or something bad's gonna happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a dream a while back that I was flying back from Lebanon to Dubai, and I had a dream of the plane was not in a good situation.
Sure.
And I was like, Dad, can you change the flight? I don't want to go on that flight. He's like, no, you're gonna go. I was still young.
Yeah.
And oh my God, when I went on that flight, I was like, I knew it. There was a heavy storm.
Oh, really?
The flight was
bumpy.
No. The pilot couldn't land like 4 times trying to land. He couldn't land.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I was like, I just knew something was gonna happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it is. So
you're connected to something higher and more powerful than all of us.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Have you ever been up at altitude, like high altitude? I have I don't have any dreams at sea level. I sleep like a rock. I sleep like the dead. I don't have any dreams at all.
I get that sometimes. I mean, I'm not always dreaming, but when I see the dreams, I do see like
truth.
Yeah. Yeah. It scares me sometimes because I don't want to see that. Why did I see that, you know?
But when I'm up in the mountains at like 3,000 meters, 4,000 meters, 5,000 meters, 6,000 meters, your brain just gets less oxygen.
Yeah.
And the dreams are wild and so real.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's something to do with
really?
Yeah, with lack of oxygen to the brain and brain activity in your deep sleep.
Really?
Yeah. So if you're already a dreamer, my suggestion to everyone out there is to go up to a high altitude destination.
God, that's scary.
And let it play out.
That is scary.
And so real. And for me, it's even more noticeable because I don't normally dream. So like a couple of weeks ago, we were filming in Kyrgyzstan and I was up at like 3,000 or 4,000 meters above sea level. And I was just having these like crazy dreams. And they weren't anything like specific.
Nightmares or?
I wouldn't say I like get nightmares, but like there's instances where you feel like you're like in it. For me personally, this is pretty personal. I'm getting it like where I was like in a James Bond movie, and I was like following someone down dark alleyways, like trying to figure out, like where they were going, like trying to like gather intel. I don't know. I guess I watched too many like spy movies or James Bond movies or John le Carrier novels and all this kind of stuff. But I end up having these like what feels like 6-hour dreams. Like
those long dreams are just your brain working and from things that you've seen or during the day, or you're thinking too much.
Yeah.
But the real dreams that will happen, they're very short.
Yeah.
Very short.
Sure.
Like you can feel they're less than a minute while you're dreaming.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Didi Foxx, vocalist.
The visions.
The visions. Didi Foxx, songwriter, vocalist, musician, awesome person. What do you do in your spare time?
What? Well.
Do you knit sweaters?
A little spare time that I have.
Do you walk dogs? Do you have a dog? Are you a cat person or a dog person?
I love animals, but I have allergies from cats.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have allergies from cats and most dogs, but I love dogs. I love animals.
That's cool.
I'm an animal lover.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that I would be a much nicer person if I had a dog. Because I think dogs give you unquestionable love and support, and they're always there for you.
Person?
I live in hotels, so I don't have any animals. I grew up with dogs though, but I think I'm a nice person. But I think I would have more empathy.
Oh, okay.
In the world,
It's different when you have a pet. Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, my parents have a cat. I'm allergic to
So you don't go home
him,
much?
but yeah, I pop my allergy pills whenever I go see my parents.
Sure.
So in my spare time, I visit my family. I go to the gym.
Yeah.
I was doing some horse riding.
Yes, I saw that on your Instagram. Yeah. Do you feel like you have a nice connection with horses? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're incredible.
They are incredible animals.
They are unbelievably incredible, and you either connect with a horse or you don't.
I'm on the side that doesn't connect with horses. I've had some incidents.
Really?
I've been thrown. Yes. I was thrown from a horse.
Really?
But
what did you do? Did you get on the horse when he's in a bad mood? No. You can't get on a horse when he's in a bad mood, even if you're close to them.
I don't know if he was in a bad mood. So I was filming in Canada.
Oh God!
Yeah.
They bucked you. The horse bucked you.
And the horse, threw me. He started running really fast, and I started panicking, and then he like spun around and bucked me right off.
Oh my God!
And I was, and I knew like you know what my problem is? I love animals, and I'm quite nice to animals, and I think with a horse you have to show that you're in control.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to dig in, and you got to hold the reins tight, and you got to let the horse know that you're
the master.
Right, and I don't think I do that. And I think the horse is like, this guy's a fucking wimp or whatever.
It's not easy.
It's not.
Ride.
No.
I mean, I didn't start too long ago, but it's not easy.
No.
It's not, and there's a point now where I'm not riding a lot because if I have the shows coming up and things coming up, which I do. Hurt? It's a risk.
Yeah.
What if I fall off and I break my leg? Then I can't do my show.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I give something up?
It's true.
You can't.
It's true. I like to go like right before I am about to start like a 10-episode season of like one of my TV shows. I like to go skydiving just to feel the adrenaline.
Wow. You know what? I don't know if I'm afraid of heights or not until now.
Really?
Because I've never been in these kind of situations.
You haven't skydived over the Palm?
No, I don't know.
You live in Dubai.
Yeah, I know.
You haven't skydived the Palm?
No, I don't know if I have the balls to do that.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know if I'm scared or not because I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's a moment. So I did it. I did it the first time a few months ago.
Yeah.
And so my first time skydiving, and my long-term camera director of photography, my camera guy, Chad Ingram. He was here in Dubai with me. He lives here too, and we both signed up to do it on the same day. We're like, we're gonna do this together.
Which month did you do it?
We did it in the summer.
Oh God!
It was hot, but when you're falling at like 100 plus miles an hour, it's not that. It doesn't feel that hot. But so we went. So it's funny because there was like a manliness thing to it. It's like I'm not gonna show any fear, and he's like, I'm not gonna show any fear. But then when we got on the plane.
When they open it.
Yeah. Well, when they get on the plane and they go up, that's when you start to think like, "Woof, this is real." And then there's a moment where you're sitting on the bench and your instructor's sitting on the bench because you don't jump out by yourself. You jump out with someone attached. Yeah. And then there's a moment where he looks at you and he's like, "Okay, come sit between my legs," because you sit between his legs or her legs. And well, it's usually for men. It's usually a man because the weight balance, I guess. So you sit in between their legs, and then they hook their suit up to your suit so that you're attached, right? And then you're kind of like sitting on their thighs, and they're sitting on the bench, and it's at that moment where you're like, well, now I'm strapped to someone else, and we're about to jump out of an airplane.
Oh God!
And I remember I was looking at Chad, and he was looking at me. And I was like, I'm not afraid. And he was looking at me like, I'm not afraid. And then the fucking door opens.
That I don't know how I would react to that. I don't mind going up the plane, being there, being attached, but when that thing opens, I don't know.
And it's a 1, 2, 3, and you're out. And
oh my goodness.
Yeah, and you got to keep your hands on your chest straps. And I just remember,
Can you breathe?
You can't really breathe because the heat, the hot air is like coming up at you, and you got these goggles on, and I remember thinking, there's a great photo on my Instagram page.
What did I do to myself?
Yeah, there's a great photo on my Instagram where I'm just screaming out of pure fear. And
Really?
I paid for the camera guy to like film the whole thing and photograph the whole
Yeah,
thing.
they do that. Yeah.
So I have like the whole video. I'll show it to you after when
Oh
we're done
God,
this.
I want to see it.
And
I'll probably piss in my pants. I
I
don't know.
I almost did. And the thing I remember is when you jump out of an airplane, I mean, look, your mind and your body, your mind has been pre-programmed for tens of thousands of years to protect your body. Your mind is there to protect your body, right? So jumping out of an airplane goes against every like animalistic protection vibe that you've got, right? So right away when you jump out, you're like, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm okay. And then you start to enjoy it. But the thing that drove me the most crazy was the noise. Because you're dropping at like, 150 or
Your ears are not covered.
No, your ears aren't covered. So for
Really?
me...
They don't have something to...
No, we didn't. I had like a little helmet.
Yeah.
Did I have a helmet? Yeah, I had a helmet maybe. I can't remember.
There's no suit like that covers the ears or
No, like my instructor had like a motorcycle helmet that was specific for like skydiving, and it protected his ears, and he had a
And they
face
didn't give
mask.
you one?
No, they give you just like whatever's the cheap
What
version.
the hell?
Yeah, but I just remember my ears were popping and the noise was unbelievable, and that was what was the most uncomfortable. It wasn't jumping out of the airplane. I guess I have sensitive ears or something like that, but it was the wind rushing. Like imagine being in a car going like 200 miles an hour and sticking your head out the window. Like that's what it felt like. It was just like this rush.
Yeah.
And that was
Oh God.
That was crazy.
Once it bothered me once when I was on a bike.
Motorcycle?
Yeah.
Do you ride a motorcycle?
No, I was the passenger.
Oh, here we go.
But it was really fast, and I didn't have
earplugs?
No, I had the helmet, but the short one, not the one covering the ears, and I didn't have earbuds. I was like, it hurt. Like by the end of the ride,
yeah.
I wasn't hearing properly. It was like there was something there.
Oh.
It was disturbing. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So look, if you ever want to go skydiving, I'll take you.
I will consider.
Okay. If you're gonna do anything in Dubai, you must go skydiving.
And they make you sign a thing like if you die, it's not your. It's your.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
This
My
happens,
God.
Yeah. This happens in a lot of things I do. Actually, I don't know. This is very common in my world, but it's something I think everyone should try at least once. It's really amazing and empowering to put yourself through that fear, and then people do it all the time now, and it's a
liberating feeling for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
I love going up against things that scare you. Going to China for the first time.
I think I'll start with paragliding first and see how that goes.
Writing your first song, performing your first song, taking what's in your mind and in your heart and putting it out into the world, and waiting for people to shit on you on Twitter and Instagram. We live in constant fear.
Yeah. It's, I wouldn't call it like that fear. It's just like that excitement of what's next. What's next. Anxiously waiting, what to expect.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you love putting stuff out into the public world? Do you love making something and putting it out and waiting for feedback?
I always like to hear people's feedback.
Yeah.
Positive
or negative?
Yeah, both.
Yeah. Do you ever block people on Instagram or Twitter?
Never.
I love blocking people.
I never did.
Really?
No, I never did. I never faced any incident or something that would really make me want to block someone.
Really?
I might in the future. I don't know.
It's funny. For someone who makes like a travel show, I get a lot of really negative feedback.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
People DM me all the time on Instagram and say I'm insensitive or, I represent something that they didn't like, or I.
Oh, there's always going to be negative. I mean.
No.
Take the negative, turn it into positive.
There you go, right? If the world gives you lemons, make lemonade. Or something like that. Amazing. Yeah. So what are you doing in the next in the upcoming immediate future? What's your plans?
Right now just preparing for a few shows coming up.
Great.
It's the busy season. Yeah. And I have my new single to be released in the US as well.
Oh, a new single.
Yeah. Oh. It's called Touch of Love.
Touch of Love.
See, the first one was Need Your Love. Now Touch of Love. It's all about love.
It's all about
It's
love.
all about
and
love.
relationships and the challenges within.
This is not about a relationship. The
Okay.
song is a dance track. It's a fun, crazy song.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to do with relationships. Just fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you are in your life at the moment? Is that reflective of who you are?
Oh God, I go through different phases.
I know, right?
My best friend calls me 50 Shades of Dee Dee.
Nice.
She's like, so when I go see her, she tells me, so who are you today? So just so that I know how to deal with you.
Right.
It's like my moods and, I'd be in something, all of a sudden, something else.
Yeah.
But it's still me.
It's still you.
Yeah.
Why can we not be different every day and still not be ourselves?
Yeah.
Why do people...
You get bored then.
Right? Yeah. But other people just want you to be the same.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just how I am.
Yeah. Never apologize.
I don't see it, but my closest people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you feel good about this?
Yeah.
Is this your first podcast?
It is my first podcast.
Well, once people hear you on this, they're going to be asking for more Dee Dee.
You think so?
I think so. I think you killed it. I'm going to give you some positive feedback. You killed it.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
And thank you for coming out.
Thanks a lot. It was
talking
fun.
with me. Take care. Okay, folks, we're back. Wow, what'd you think? Are we a Dee Dee Foxx fan? I am. I love it when artists and musicians talk about their influences, talk about their experiences, talk about what their life was like when they were growing up. And then it's like an investigation. Like these interviews are all just investigations into people's worlds. And I absolutely love that. And I'm very thankful for Dee Dee for giving me her afternoon and a bit of time. I'm always hugely appreciative when people show up without an agenda and without looking at their watch every 5 minutes. So is that okay? Yeah, we just sat down and had a great conversation. So for those of you who are now Dee Dee Foxx fans and who would love to learn more about her, you can go to her official website, which is www.ddfoxx.com. That's ddfoxx.com. There's a double X in there for anyone who is interested. And of course, Dee Dee is very active on her social media. And you can find her on Instagram at Dee Dee Foxx Music. That is DDFOXXMUSIC. And that's it from me. So I will do this again sometime soon, and we'll have fun.